It's Franchise Wednesday. Let's take another trip to the cabin in the woods with Evil Dead 2. Hit it. From the crypt, from the crypt. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt. I am Derek, and yeah, we're talking about Evil Dead 2, directed by Sam Raimi. This was released the year of my birth, 1987. Spoilers are going to be in effect because this movie is as old as this guy. All right, super quick plot synopsis. A couple goes to a cabin in the woods and unknowingly unleashes evil. All right, who is in Evil Dead 2? We have Bruce Campbell as Ash, Sarah Berry as Annie Noby, Dan Hicks as Jake, and Cassie Wesley as Bobby Joe. All right, before we get into the review, one thing that I completely forgot and started to remember at the end of my last review was I have the Necronomicon tattooed on my arm. So Chris Hall, Montrose Classic Tattoos, always does awesome work, super awesome guy. Another thing, I've got a tattoo on my right hand, as you guys have seen. I don't even know how many times. I've got a cat bothering me right now, so that's cool. But I'm not going to tell you the real reason that I got the tattoo. That's personal for me. But an added, meaning behind it that I did not even intend, but that works out the best sometimes, is Ice Nine Kills did a song called Ex Mortis. And it's about Evil Dead, and it was on Silver Scream 2. But the one of the lyrics in the song is, we're saving you a seat where the dead don't die. So it ties into Evil Dead. So that was my fun little coinky dink, I guess. What's good about Evil Dead 2? Bruce Campbell. First right out of the gate. His performance as Ash in this is just awesome because he is a badass. And he can also do physical comedy really well, whether he's smashing plates over his head, fighting with his hand, then having to cut it off, which is super ballin'. And, he's such a goddamn hard ass. He didn't even pass out from blood loss after cutting his hand off with a chainsaw. So, there's that. Next thing that I love, because I am a Freddy fan, is there is a Freddy glove in the basement. And that was actually taken from the set of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Because in the there'd been an ongoing thing with Wes Craven and Sam Raimi. Not a bad thing, just like fun little references. So in the first Evil Dead, there is a ripped up poster for The Hills Have Eyes, which Wes Craven obviously directed. And then in Nightmare on Elm Street, Nancy is trying to fall asleep and she is watching Evil Dead. So of course, Sam Raimi just stepped it up and was like, we're just going to have the fucking Freddy glove. So somebody took it from the set of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, brought it to them, and then boom, had it hanging in the basement. Super awesome. Loved it. There's a lot more humor in this movie. Because like I said, Ash is fighting with his hand drag. The humor worked in this. And at the time when I originally watched this, I don't know, I guess it had to be, because Scary Movie, I loved it, but that was, comedy and horror. It wasn't, a good mixture of horror and comedy. So I guess my taste buds had to develop because I wasn't, digging the humor that it was going for. But this, I think it's a good balance, 50-50, and it works, and it's so entertaining. And one thing that I actually found really funny, the more rewatches I've done since 2007, was Annie and her luggage. They're complaining about it, putting it in the trunk or whatever. And then when they get to the cabin, or they get to the bridge, and the bridge is fucked up, of course. Jake is there's some bargaining going on, and she is like, well, I'll pay you X amount extra to not only lead us to the cabin, but to carry my luggage. And he looks in the back seat and he's like, stupid bitch. And then she's like, this guy is a fucking moron. And then he's lugging that gigantic trunk. Just awesome. Like little things like that. I love. Henrietta. Let's talk about Henrietta. We talked about comedy for a little bit. Henrietta is nightmare fuel. And is just iconic and classic. Love it to death. Okay, we're back to the comedy, but this is more of like just it's creepy in a good way, of course, not in a bad way. But when everything is just laughing and Ash is just going crazy in the frickin' love that scene. Love it so much. What else should I mention? Ash, like evil Ash that's in Evil Dead 2, like when he's like turns and then, daytime hits and then he becomes regular Ash again. Great prosthetics okay, we're just going to move into what's bad and start wrapping this up. The only issue that I have with Evil Dead 2 is, what is it? Like, is it a reboot from the first Evil Dead? Is it a sequel? A requel? Like, that is the only issue that I have with this movie, is that I don't know for sure what it is. And I think after I typed this, there was something to do with the rights, so they couldn't just butt it up to, so they had to kind of redo some of one into. That's the only issue I've ever had with it, is literally just that, not knowing for sure what it is. Rewatch by review. Would I rewatch this? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. This is easily my favorite of the original trilogy. Would I buy it? Already have. And last time, because it's hidden behind me, I'll go ahead and mention it again. Necronomicon Evil Dead 2 DVD. Right there. What score would I give it? I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8.5. It is a fun fucking movie. Show people this first. Like, for instance, with Mass Effect on Xbox, you start with Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 1 is still really good, but you start with Mass Effect 2 to get them into it. And then, so I would say the same thing with this. Show people Evil Dead 2 first. If they have fun with it and love it, then they can move on to Army of Darkness, then move back to Evil Dead and be like, oh, okay, all right, still good, but I like 2 better. So that's the best way I could think of framing that. But that will do it for Evil Dead 2, guys. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. I'm definitely curious. Let's talk about it. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed yourself today, and consider subscribing to the channel because, I'm just going to be blunt. Why the fuck not? So until next time, you guys have a good one. Hit that outro.